Amber and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna talk a reading goal for next year. I have like almost 900 books on my Goodreads TBR and some of them have been there for a hot minute. I need to get better about reading books that I put on my TBR. So next year, I want to read the 12 oldest books on my Goodreads TBR. So here's a video telling you what they are and holding myself accountable. Let's get started. Quite frankly, the reason I haven't done this sooner is the oldest book on my Goodreads TBR, and that is the complete fiction of H.P. Lovecraft. I stupidly have owned this and thought I was going to get to it by now, but I haven't. It has been on my Goodreads shelf since 2015. It needs to get read. This is obviously a variety of different work by H.P. Lovecraft. I'm probably going to pick October to be the month to get to this one, just to help myself out, but this has been on my shelves since 2015. I need to get to it. The second oldest book on my Goodreads TBR is Angel Fall by Susan E. This is an angel apocalyptic story, I think. I feel like this is going to be a lot more of a fun video if I tell you what I think these books are about and we find out together when I do the wrap up if I was right or not. As of right now, I'm pretty sure this one is on my TBR still because it was an angel book and I don't think I've read that many angel books. And everyone seemed to love this one when it came out and I still haven't read it. The next book that is on my TBR is still something that I should probably have gotten to this year with my nonfiction goal, and that is the Hillside Stranglers by Darcy O'Brien. I was trying to read nonfiction books this year, and yet some of these books in this video are going to be nonfiction books. This is a nonfiction book talking about the Hillside Stranglers. I don't know specifics on what it's going to discuss, but I know that this one has escaped my Goodreads culling because it has such a high rating on Goodreads, so I'm excited to check this one out. The next book that I have to read for this challenge is the first book in the Jacobi series by William Ritter. This is a paranormal Sherlock series, and I need to get to it like yesterday. People are still reading and raving about this series, so I don't know why I didn't get into it this year when I've been like loving everything that has been paranormal that's ever existed, because I feel like this still would be my book. So I'm hoping that maybe I'll read the first one and like binge the whole series next year, because who doesn't like to binge a whole series? You know? Next, I have The Fever, How Malaria Has Ruled Mankind for 5,000 Years. This one is really easy for me to explain how it's still on my Goodreads. I am studying disease history and I haven't read this one yet. This is probably going to be one of the first things that I pick for this challenge, just so I get it read sooner than later. Hopefully it'll help me with my thesis. Next, I have the Train Sir Chronicle, the biology of the tyrannic dinosaur. I like dinosaur books, but I ended up reading a different dinosaur book this year. So I have room for a dinosaur book next year, right? Next, I have The Mortal Song by Megan Crew. I think this one is about a girl who thinks she's the chosen one, but she's actually a changeling and therefore not the chosen one. And I think this one is like a not the chosen one but thought she was a chosen one story, and I think that's how this one's still on my Goodreads. I'm not 100%. I do Goodreads cullings and I don't know how things still manage, but I also really like this cover. It could also be that. Next, I have Behind the Scenes by Dahlia Adler. This comes as no surprise to me because I absolutely love Dahlia Adler's work. I just didn't want to have binged them all and have none left. However, she has a new release date coming up for her next work, so I'm a little less sad that this is gonna be read, but I really want to get to the series. This is a duology. I can possibly read both and get a whole duology read next year. I know this is the Daylight Falls duology, and it involves famous people and like a television series. I'm not entirely sure what the exact details are. I just know that I love Dahlia Adler's writing and that the second one is queer. Next, I have Manson, The Life and Times of Charles Manson. The reason this one's still on this list is it is like 500 pages and I've read like a bunch of other books about Charles Manson, so I wanted some space before I dove into like a 500-page book, just to maybe help with the fact that this one is so long. Number 10 is Persuasion by Jane Austen. I have no idea what this one's about, but I love Jane Austen's works. And this is the last one I have. No idea what it's about. I'm not even gonna take a whack at it, but I'm excited. The Tenant of Windfell Hall. This is an Anne Bronte book. No idea. This probably popped up on my Goodreads when I was still doing my classics project a couple of years ago, where I was trying to read a classic every month. And I own the audiobook for it. And that's probably how this one's still there. And the last book for this challenge is Eruption, the Untold Story of Mount St. Helens, which, volcano book, pretty self-explanatory, and I'm excited to check it out. So these are the 12 books that I'm hoping to get to next year. I think the moral of the story here is my nonfiction project may have gotten me to read more nonfiction books this year, but it didn't get me to read the really old books that I had on my TBR. And I ditched my classics project, but the classics didn't ditch me. Have you read any of these books? Let me know what you thought about them in the comments down below. Have you done a project like this? Let me know about that as well. If you like what you saw here today, be sure to like and subscribe. I normally post videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.